Am I using paint? Yeah, probably. I'm gonna be opening up paint. So right here, I'm gonna be doing TV royale analysis of three games. This one. No, sorry. This one, and this one, and then two replay analysis of viewer games. One of Lenny and one of a moderator in my chat, Crunk Beast. Wait. Yeah. Okay. A subscribe for me, so but he sucks. So let's go into it. This first one, it doesn't really matter like that. You guys know who won. The guy who played Graveyard won. Okay, but like what, like how and why did he win? Like where was his advantages? If we talk about this deck, like this deck matchup here, um, this is the Hog Rider Three Musketeer deck that's been gaining a lot of popularity on ladder with the Elixir Collector, and then here we have just a really standard giant furnace graveyard. This is a little bit less this is a little bit different because usually this would be archers and this would be Skarmy, but we can take that into account later. So if we think about like how they win, and their differences, like Elixir Collector right now in this meta is sort of scary to play because it costs 6. You play it down, and if you're running against someone who has like a balloon, or you're running against someone who has graveyard, like in this scenario, I expect this player to lose his tower right away as soon as he drops his Elixir Collector. So that's this is how this deck loses. So how does this deck lose? If this if this Hog Rider Collector gets up and running, right, and he doesn't die to graveyard, then this deck can overpower this giant graveyard eventually. So when we take a look at how they win, I mean, we'll be keeping in account like how they win. An organized playlist of analysis videos would be pure gold. Yeah, that'd be pretty cool. I'd have to build up a lot of videos though. So he's waiting right now. He plays pump. At this moment, C Mida has giant graveyard. If the way you think of giant graveyard is it's equivalent to giant balloon, you play 10 elixir into one lane and you expect like the best scenario is to take a tower. Probably a scenario like a little bit under that is they have almost no damage on the tower. Worst case scenario, they defend you completely and then you're behind. So he drops this. I fully expect him to lose his tower right here. This is the hazard of playing collector. Like once you play collector, you're at 4 elixir. Then you're on 5 elixir. So at most you have to defend 10 with 5, and with graveyard you need an abundance of elixir to defend properly, especially against this giant here. I expect him to lose his tower right away. Why aren't we viewing viewer replays? I'll be doing the viewer replays like probably after this. Wow, he actually defended that really well. How did he do that? He played Elite Barbs and then dropped Ice Golem into a ton of skeletons right here. And then they all popped. Let's see, let's go back. I want to see that too. Cause like maybe we've been doing this all wrong. If he just did that. Let's see. Yeah, the golem took the whole graveyard. See, like if I feel like any other player would have just dropped Zap right now. They would have probably dropped Zap. The graveyard hits the collector, takes out the collector. He drops Ice Golem. Ice Golem pops. He defends it. I mean, if we take a look at where he's at, yeah, he sacrificed. So he sacrifices Elixir Pump to keep his tower. He also zaps. How much damage does he get here? He evens it up. Forced to play Mega Minion if he doesn't want to take a hit. He doesn't even take a hit here. Nice. He plays the pump again. Giant graveyard. Golem. Wow, he's actually playing against Graveyard very, like, really well. So knowing that, like, C Mida does win, like, how does he win in this scenario? Right now, the Hog Rider pump player is, like, everything's going exactly how he wants it. He's able to play pumps and is able to get away with it. He hasn't played Three Musketeers yet, though. One, two, three. Hogs trade equally to Furnace. Help them to make all the skellies. Yeah. Maybe that was Mida's misplay. Fireball. No, he can't fireball it. He wants to fireball like this, but he can't fireball like that. It's too far away. Floating too much elixir here. This is how you're supposed to be splitting. Whoa. Oh my god. I just realized what happened. Whoa. This is super interesting. So you guys see this? This isn't a mistake, actually. Like, the way he placed his Three Musketeers, I think this is where he loses the game. I think this is why he loses the game. So this has nothing to do with, like, his play. It's just a really unfortunate thing that happened here. The way he placed his pump, if you play Three Musketeers here, one goes this way, two goes this way. But because the pump is here, it's forcing this Musketeer to go to the right. Oh my. And then this bowler takes out everything because it's in a line. Join back to Ely Gaming now? Why? That was, like, really unfortunate. That's so unfortunate. The Ely Barbs are definitely stopping the Giants really hard. I mean, if we think about what this player can do right now, like, every time it feels like he's, like, defending on a tightrope. He's defending on a tightrope with this collector. He plays collector and then he almost has to fight for his life. And he's done that like 3 times consecutively. Every single time his collector gets taken out, and now he's put into this position over and over again. While C Mida just like doesn't really have to worry about that. He just has to keep putting giants down, taking out his collectors and push. He missed one Musketeer because he was too late. He wanted to hit the tower too. He wanted to hit the tower here. Hog finds its way in for 2 hits. Mistake on him too. The furnace was too far, and I think this is where he dies. What does he have? He played a Hog Rider. He did get 2 hits here, but he played it into a Musketeer, a Mega Minion, now Giant, and then Graveyard. If he drops Ely Barbs here, they take out the Giant. But I think by the time the Giant gets no. Actually, in this position, I don't think the Giant gets taken out. Giant probably lives with like this much health. Like if this is the entire bar here. Okay, let me do this. Paint life. He drops. Say like this is the bar for Giant. No, that's kind of too far. Say like this is the bar for Giant. If he drops Ely Barbs here, the Giant lives with probably this much, because this and this take out the Ely Barbs. So now he's sitting at like, no, he's sitting at about 3 elixir going on 4. Then he has to deal with Musketeer and Mega Minion, plus a Graveyard over here. Can he live that? If he uses all of his elixir, if he uses this 5, he plays Ice Golem and Mega Minion, it takes out this side, but then he loses his tower. If he plays Collector, he loses straight out. I think he's just dead. I think he's just dead. There's no way to do it. If you drop Mega Minion here, You drop Ice Golem. It takes out his Mega Minion, but this takes out the Ice Golem, takes out the Mega Minion. Giant is still full health because you can't afford Elite Barbs right now. Well, I mean, it's like good to watch this to like find out what he could do, what he can't do. See how he does it. Defends. Takes that out. The tower gets activated. Zaps it. The graveyard still gets damaged. Now he dies to Fireball. So what he chose to do was play Ice Golem, then Elite Barbs. Ice Golem tank the Musketeer and it tanks the Mega Minion. But it could only, like, when you play Ice Golem there, then you don't have Ice Golem for this. A lot of the times he negated Graveyard by Ice Golem. Oh no. Oh, okay, there it is. You need to zap that. You need to zap it. Drop Mega Minion, drop Fireball. Game is over. I don't see what's wrong with MS Paint. I think MS Paint is awesome. Thank you, Jewish Panda. Points of tapping, I'll try switch from tapping to dragging. Tapping will make you a lot faster. How do you set up hotkeys on Nox? It's on the right side on the Nox app player. There's a keyboard, you can set up your hotkeys there. If you feel up to it, I have a replay where I won, but only because I got really lucky at the end. I was wondering if I could give me some tips on it. I'm doing 2 replays already outside of the 2 royale ones, and they've already been given to me by Lenny and Crunk Beast. So I'm going to be looking at these 2. So I want to watch this one. So this replay is one of the 2.6 Hog Rider deck that a lot of people are playing against Golem Elixir Collector. I think we just played this on stream, and like this matchup is really interesting because if this gets going, this deck doesn't really have that much answers. If you can play Golem, if you can play Musketeer plus like a Mega Minion into this kind of push, it takes a lot of coordination for this push to like really defend. Also, this deck doesn't have an answer to Elixir Collector besides Fireball. And if you misuse Fireball, this deck gets up and running. But we see that the Hog player did win, so I'm assuming that this deck got a lot of damage early on while this deck was trying to set up. So we're going to try and see how he does it. How does he set up his defense? How does he set up his attack? For the Hog Rider player, how do you play Elixir Collector deck? Play Elixir Collector, don't die. We're using Atari joystick next up. B2 though. What? He plays Hog right at the bridge naked. When a Hog meets a... Oh, he messed up there. I talked about this point a little bit earlier when I talked about this point a little bit earlier, and I'm gonna be making an entire video on this, but I kind of want to bring it up now. Let's go to it. I'm gonna talk about expected card values right here. Okay, I think this is the perfect point. I want to talk about expected card values. I did this earlier, but I think it's good to do it again. Tried to use Nox, but it fails to start. Do you think Avast might be the problem? You could try turning it off, but I don't. It might be that you don't have the APK file. You could just do an entire new download. It might work. So I think when you understand the deck, when you understand cards, you start to get a feel for what they can do. And the way I described it, the way I describe this is I coined a term called expected values, expected card value. Here. What does this mean? This refers to... Let me delete all this. Expected card value refers to what I think a card should get for being played. Like you play 4 elixir for a hog rider. What does this 4 elixir hog rider usually get? Um, if you play a hog rider into a bowler, into a naked bowler, you are expected to get from a hog rider 1 to 2 hits on a tower. If this happens and someone plays a hog rider that's naked, and they react with a mega minion, you are expected to get two hits on the tower. If your hog rider goes above this expected value, it is a plus. It's a positive, right? It's a positive overall. If you're using elixir past the up beyond that point, then you're like giving up a little bit of your own elixir to tilt the circumstances in your favor. Like, I think this guy, if we watch this, the hog gets to the tower, gets 2 hits, but he also zaps. But the zap doesn't get him the 3rd hit because he mistimes it. This is a mechanical error. It's a mechanical error. But assuming that he does get the 3rd hit, then overall the expected card value for the hog is a plus. And I kind of want you guys to just like kind of keep that in mind for when people play cards, so that if something that's expected happens, then you know where you kind of stand. I guess another thing would be like someone plays an RG at the bridge. Say someone plays an RG right here. The RG gets to the tower. How many hits do you expect an RG to get? Assuming that someone has an Inferno Tower, they play Inferno Tower here, the RG is expected to get 0 hits because the Inferno Tower takes out the RG completely. But if you have Lightning and you Lightning with the RG, this the expected card value for the RG goes up because the RG locks onto the tower and gets more and more value. One of the reasons why Hog is so good is because for 4 elixir, the expected card value of Hog Rider goes up and up and up every single time he gets a hit. Every time he gets a hit, it goes up, like the value of the card goes up exponentially. Usually once he starts hitting the ranges of like 3 to 4 hits on the tower, he's made his value and more. And that's why like this card is talked about like super value card. So if we take that in mind, and we watch it here. Sorry, wait, I'm gonna go back. I want you guys to like watch his zap. His zap should get 3. Still zap damage on tower and leaving Mega Man to die at tower's worth, don't you think? If you zap a Mega Minion that's full health, the Mega Minion, if it's allowed to get to the tower, assuming everything is consistent, zap the Mega Minion gets 1 hit on the tower. So that's still not preferable. If you zap it and it's like here, if you zap it here, it gets no hits on the tower. If you zap it here, it still walks in, gets a hit on the tower. 1, he gets 1 hit, gets 2 hits, he mistimes the zap and it dies to the tower. If he does nothing here, he gets a hit on the tower, I think. Wait, he doesn't. Okay. I thought that zapping a Mega Minion here would allow it, or maybe I'm just playing against people who have like maxed Mega Minions. Well, that's okay. If that's a case, I would zap it. He plays Collector back here. Right now, all of his damage is on this right tower. This left tower is full health. I think. Let's see. If we were the Hog player right now, we have kind of routes to play. That's not 20 standard, that's an interaction, but yeah, I swear it's random. I don't know, like, I've noticed that whenever I zap a Mega Minion, they still get to the tower. But I guess I know that if everybody's maxed, I'm 100% sure that both their zaps are maxed. I'm 100% sure that this Mega Minion is maxed. This tower is 13, so it should stay consistent. If that's the truth, then I need to reevaluate. Now that the pump is up, he can fireball the pump, or he can push. If we talk about like which one he gets, I think fireballing the pump is a safer play. Playing to this lane over here is the play where he can get a lot of damage. If he gets a lot of damage, like depending on how much damage he brings his tower down to, he doesn't have to fireball this pump. I mean, like these are the decisions like I would be making in the game. He logs. I think his tower for this to be worth it. I wish I could just move the paint easily, but I can't. For this play to be worth it, because like if you allow this up against your deck, against this fast deck 2.6, which like relies on a bunch of small units and a like even elixir kind of like battle in order to work, this deck is gonna get like run over. It's gonna get run over. So you have to do something about this pump. The way he decides to do it is he will push this lane because he already has damage on this tower. How much damage does this push need to do in order to ignore this pump? This tower needs to go down to around here. Because this, he needs to do so much damage here that he can forget about elixir advantage, hold fireball, and then fireball pushes that come out. So he can play defense if he does enough damage here. But if he doesn't do enough damage, he's going to get overrun by this pump. If we talk about, like, say that he did fireball this pump. If he did fireball this pump, he gets damage on this tower, which he doesn't really want, but the pump is like suppressed. Now, the golem player plays with a little bit of an advantage, but the hog player doesn't put himself into a hole. That's like the trade-off. And the hog player doesn't put himself into a position like this where he's kind of forced to do a lot of damage here. Hog needs like 4 hits for this to be worth it. He does 2. He pulls, keeps pulling. This is how you're supposed to be playing the deck. He needs Ice Golem. He plays Ice Golem here. Ice Golem here, here, whichever, as long as you pull it. Now he plays Golem, and now he's going to be playing at a disadvantage. Now that this pump is up, honestly, like if this STK guy wants, he could just be fine with just playing this Musketeer right here, pumping one more time, and then that puts the Golem, that puts the Hog player into a checkmate. If this STK guy plays a Mega Minion right here, he's going all in. This is all in. Well, not really all in, but it like gives the chance for the Hog Rider to come back into the game. This Musketeer is enough where it forces so much from this Hog Rider player that he doesn't have to, that the Golem player doesn't have to play anything else. Yeah. I mean, like, why? Like, because look how much this guy has to play right now. If we assume that the STK guy, all he does is let this Golem and this if he lets this Golem and this Musketeer go, just like not even thinking about playing anything else, every elixir he makes from now on is a positive. Is like his own elixir advantage. This guy, at the very least, has to play Cannon. That's 3. He has to play Musketeer. That's 4. That's 7 that he already has, and it's not even guaranteed that he can defend all of it. Because if he pulls his Golem, he plays Musketeer right here. He has to like pull it, play Musketeer, drop Skeletons on this. That's 8 elixir right there. So every time he makes more, he's gonna be more ahead. There's the Mega Minion. And now it gives the Now this guy found an easy way to deal with all of this. He just fireballs all of it. Gets insane value. And now, like, now they're even. Now they're even. This, well, they're not even, but they're close. They're close. He's at 5, he's at 6, but imagine if he had a pump. If in this situation, right, this guy had at like 2 elixir, STK guy has a pump right here, and he's at like 3 elixir. That's the difference between like what the Mega Minion move right there was. That Mega Minion right there was unneeded. Overextension. I think this is just one of the things about like this deck, this Golem deck. Since it's so heavy, it just doesn't have quick responses, and that's kind of what you give up for playing a deck that's like so fast. He might have messed this up here too. Yeah, this is a really big reason for losing. Musketeer. Okay. If I was execute right now, I would just focus on defending and only defending. I would fireball. I would get to fireball. Just fireball all of this. Because you know that this tower is within fireball zap range, like a fireball cycle. Good Ice Golem. Ice Golem pushes the Musketeer, forcing the change. He just has to defend right now. Just defend. Keep cycling your cards. I think Fireball Zap. We took a look at this, and Fireball does 330 at level at maxed. This does about 99, about 100. So if he cycles like one Fireball Zap and another Zap, he can win the game. But he just gets to the tower and takes it. 432 combined, yeah. I just knew that like that tower wasn't going to go down. 2 Fireball Zap combined, but he just had to cycle one more time. Conclusion. If you're playing a pump deck and you're able to get away with pump, and you have such a big push, just be okay with letting that push go and not killing people like right away. He didn't have to play Mega Minion. That Mega Minion was the difference between his win and his loss. And it allowed Execute to get a good fireball off where he could just recover. Alright, let's take a look at this game. So I know both of these players. Majed is Money, and DE from Crucible Wrath is Boom, a really strong Siege player, so it makes sense for him to play this deck. Has a lot of things similar with Siege, where you just throw spells at people, try to get that damage down, chip people down. And this deck is the Hog Rider Goblin Barrel that I think CMC Hugh popularized. This deck does well against Graveyard. It has minions. It has Skarmy. It has a lot of answers. You have Ice Golem, Hog Rider, which is definitely needed. You have Inferno Tower. The one thing that you're kind of missing in this deck is a direct damage, excluding like the log. If someone is playing like Pump, it's kind of hard. Like you have to punish them, but we're not talking about that right now. If we like pit these two matchups together, how do you guys think it would turn out? It's kind of, I feel like it's in favor of this deck. Boom got kicked from Crucible Wrath? Oh, Boom got kicked. So DE isn't Boom anymore. Have you watched Tag's replay? I did. Can you look over some replays of mine? I am just gonna do this, and I'm gonna do 2 replays of my mods, and I think that's like it. I don't want this to be really long. Spellbait 1, but like we have to ask ourselves like why Spellbait 1? I think that this deck that Money is running, his answer to Furnace, first of all, is Princess. Princess dies to Log. So Log takes out Princess. What does he have now? He has Ice Golem, he has Inferno Tower, and he has Log. all three are not very great answers. So we can assume that this Spellbait gets a lot of furnaces up. He also doesn't have like a fireball to take out furnaces. So if this money deck is like meant to win, it's because he gets a lot of damage early on, where he gets surprised, where this Spellbait player gets surprised. If this deck wins, it's because this deck no longer has an answer to all of his furnaces, and then he just gets spelled out of the game. Let's go into it. Uh, well, Marcus, I mean, I don't mind if you want to give me a replay, but the thing is, I want only losses. So find a loss, Marcus, and then go ahead and join the clan and then set the replay. I'm a mod. Can you watch my replay, please? That would be 3 people. That was a good log. So he played Princess. Reaction to Hog and Goblin Barrel, which is 7, was Log and Scarmy, which is 5. So overall, this is where the elixir advantage for whoever is playing this account comes from. That's why there's such a disparity right now, especially because he logged the princess. So I think this is where the pain train starts happening. I think this is where the game gets really rough for him. If I was this guy, like, I would just fireball this. If I understood what deck this was, I would fireball it. I think he got greedy with his fireball. See how much pain this princess is doing right now? When you're playing a deck like... When you're playing this Spellbait deck right here, patience is definitely a virtue. Clan is closed. I'll open up the clan. I'll open up the clan after I'm done with this here. That's a Pokemon and Man. Pokemon and Man. When you're playing this deck, you have to be very patient. If you overextend, you don't want to die to a Hog Rider. You don't want to let that kind of damage through. He mirrors this, right? He should know that his log is up if he's following cycle. This is a bad Goblin Barrel. That was a bad Goblin Barrel. Hog Rider. Princess. Log. Right now, like, the Spellbait guy's goal is... The Spellbait guy goes to just get up furnaces using mirror. So mirroring Goblin Barrels is just not very efficient right now. Now he's forced to throw Goblin Barrel because that's all he has. Scarmy. Good answer. If you play Mirror Goblin Barrel again... Did he pre-log that? I think Money might have pre-logged that. Yeah, you would play Princess right here. This is a good princess. This is a really good princess. Hog Rider. This is standard. You need to scar me this. Okay, I see. So they're playing a lot of mind games against each other right now. Money is playing, like, he doesn't want to use log on a Goblin Barrel. He probably wants to only use log on the mirrored Goblin Barrel. So he's holding Scarmy for this. And he knows that this guy is also using Scarmy as defense too, so he can log out princesses. Because this guy needs to log out princesses. If he's not, his furnaces can never get up. Hate. What do I hate most on your 2.6 deck? There's not much to hate. I just like a lot of it. I like a lot of it. That's a really good fireball there. Predictive fireball. That was a lot there. I mean, really, all he took was the log damage. He so Money is playing preemptive logs, understanding that this guy is dropping Skarmies. Every time he drops Skarmy, he gets value from the log. And he's defending his own Goblin Barrels with Skarmy here. Battle's gonna end very soon. If this princess gets another shot, it does get another shot, takes out his princess. Goblin Barrel. He needs two more logs in order to win this. So where does he mess up? Why isn't this guy not just pre-fireballing? Okay. So toward the end, something interesting was happening here. So toward the end, if we saw, this guy adapted pretty well. The Spobait adapted pretty well. Because Money was being like he was being a little bit greedy here, but he was playing logs at the bridge to take out Skarmies, right? This guy was playing. He adapted eventually. Played Goblin Barrels right here. As soon as Money saw him do that, he needed to stop playing Skarmy like here. When you play Skarmy like this, it takes care of Goblin Barrel, Goblin Barrel, Goblin, or Goblin, Goblin, Goblin. Well, like either one. But when you play like this, he got damage in. Took the tower. That was cool. That was really cool. I didn't know that that deck actually had a winning chance to play. I think if you want to add secondary cards that deal with Spellbait very well, it would be Skarmy. You can use this as a Goblin Barrel counter, and you can also play Electro Wizard. Electro Wizard's one of those cards. If you play Electro Wizard, I think there was a Reddit post really recently here, where if someone sends out a Goblin Barrel, you can play it right here on this tile, and if you time it right, as soon as it drops, you take out all of it. Alright, so let's take a look at Lenny's replay here. Lenny is a player from Nuggets playing Giant Pump. Giant Pump, Elite Barbs, Fireball, Zap. This is standard deck against Golem Pump with Zap and the log. Right away we can see a difference. Lenny can out-influence the Golem's pumps. Golem cannot influence Lenny's pump. Like, what is he gonna do? Zap pump? Doesn't happen. The matchup between Golem and Giant is, well, like Giant against any of the big stuff. Like if someone plays Golem, you Giant the other side. If someone plays Lava Hound, you Giant the other side. Giant, because it's 5 elixir, can spit push a lot better than these like really big tanks, even though they're running similar cards. So if Lenny loses, well, one thing, like whoever gets the pump advantage gets a huge start. Lenny has the ability to control pump with Fireball. Golem does not. Assuming that well, I mean, we're just gonna have to watch this here. If you're playing Giant into Golem lanes, typically Golem wins. Can you friendly battle with me and then watch the replay or commentate what I do? Probably not. I don't see why. I thought this stream was Hog exclusive. No. I play Hog a lot, but I do know tank matchups somewhat. Like I don't know Lava Hound versus Lava Hound, but so Lenny gets a pump really early on. Oh, you should right here. This is huge. This is so big. This is so greedy by this guy. I just want to talk about this. Let's see. We take a look at elixir count. You hit 10. You play pump. This was 6 from you. Now you get 2. You're at 6 from 4. He played musketeer first. So that's 4. Now he's at 6. Then he drops pump. That's 6. He just played 10 elixir, right? He just played 10, you played 6. You're going to get the value out of this a lot sooner than he is. You're gonna get value a lot sooner than he is. You have to know that when this musketeer, like, he cannot back up this musketeer. There's no way for him to back up this musketeer. He is essentially taking the biggest risk right here by playing this pump right away. As soon as he saw you play your pump. So it's like up to you, Lenny, in order to punish this. This musketeer walks up. You kill it with Mega Minion, say. The Mega Minion lives, you drop Giant right away. Then you have like this cheap Giant Mega Minion push on him. You have this cheap Giant Mega Minion push on him. So it would be Giant, Mega Minion, assuming that it has like almost no HP, walks toward him. Your hand will be Fireball, Ice Golem, Zap, and I guess Musketeer slash, it's either Musketeer or Elite Barbs. I know that after this happens, like by the time he's gonna have Elite Barbs back. So assuming we look into the future, I think you can all figure this out. Elite Barbs are gonna be played against this Giant push, this Mega Minion, unless he zaps it. He's probably going to zap. He's gonna play Elite Barbs and zap. You're gonna defend the Elite Barb and zap push that comes to you with like Ice Golem and probably Musketeer. Then you fireball this. Then you fireball this pump right here. He can't do anything to your pump, and now you're at an advantage. If you wanted to go through the entire way, I think that's the best way to play out what happened in your game. So that's like the optimal way to play. I think, assuming that we take all the information that we've seen right here, this is enough to know how the game is going to play out. Like, you have to play your sequence correctly. And if we're watching this to see what happens, we'll see where the sequence goes wrong. You play Giant. I'm not sure, like, this Giant was both mistimed. Giant back here, if you take into account Musketeer, the Musketeer is going to hit the tower. At like best case scenario, you play Mega Minion here. The Musketeer dies, but now you don't have a Musketeer with your push. So now you're in a really awkward scenario. See? I guess not. The Giant was played well. You're right, you timed it. So you need Mega Minion. Oh yeah, I guess that would be one way to do it. I don't play Giant enough to know. I just assumed that because of the Musketeer like range, that it'll lock onto the tower first. But the Giant like barely crossed it here, and then the Musketeer saw it in his sight range. Would waiting to kill that Musk and then playing Giant in the same lane be better than immediately pushing Giant in the other lane? It's better because you want something to back up the Giant. This early on. He plays Elite Barbs like we thought. You fireball that there. Was fireballing that? I think if you're looking back on it, if you look at his deck, you didn't know if he had fireball. If he had fireball, I think fireballing like that was perfect. If he had zap and log and knew that he didn't have a way to affect your pump, then I think you can hold back on that fireball. So I don't fault you on that, Lenny. I don't fault you on that. And all of this damage is like great for you. So I mean, in this position, like I'm pretty sure if you do lose, it's because you couldn't handle the Golem push. Uh, hey, EsoPa, could you suggest a good hog deck for tourney, please? The 2.6 hog deck or hog elite barbarians. After you're done with the replays, would you mind joining since you need a clan anyways? Yeah, I don't mind. But you haven't invited me. He pumps ahead of you. There's no reason, like, I think he's just pumping on you. And you're kind of letting it go. Saps you. He's just like... I'm telling you right now, this dude is straight up disrespecting you. This is disrespect play. But he's taking like the risk. Like this guy is a big risk taker with this deck. He's taking risk at, like, he played Musketeer, pump, risk, huge one. Now his tower is down. He pumps right away before you do. Another big risk in order to get back in. And now, like we talked about a little bit before, when a giant goes into a golem lane, typically golem wins. You could typically fireball this. If you felt the flow of the game right now, you would know that you're probably never going to get to this tower with giant. So I would just start fireballing. And holding elite bards for this. But it's like the way the game took shape, your defense is going to have to be super solid. Your defense is not going to be looking like very pretty. There's a minute left in the game. I will pump again. Pump right now. Pump right now. Pump right now. There's no reason. Like, why are you fireballing this tower when there's still a minute left in the game? This guy has the right idea. He's thinking about the later. He's thinking about the future. He knows that he's probably going to be pushing this lane, take this tower. All this stuff is just, who cares about it right now? Where's your pump at? Where's your pump? Pump. Your pump is 20 seconds late. That's a you don't need to pump it. Oh god. I find it really boring playing Lava Hound decks because it's really slow paced. Do you think I could start playing Hawk Cycle? Yeah, I don't. It's not bad. I don't see why. This is good. Like, when you give me a loss, so much more. Like, you're gonna learn so much more here. You start school tomorrow or not? No. My school starts in like a few weeks. This is good to know. Like, if you're playing a deck like this, you need to play to your pumps. Like, why aren't you playing to your pumps? Which are your strongest advantage? Fireball there. Elite barbs are OP. Okay. Good game. You mean should I start playing? You can play whatever you want. Are you excited that you're graduating soon? Yeah, I'm pretty excited. I don't like school at all. I don't really find school fun. Okay. Lenny, if I were to tell you, focus on pumping, think about the future, put priorities, have priorities in the game. If the tower is at 300 and there's a minute left on the tower, pump, and make sure you're not behind. Especially, you already know what deck he's playing. You already know he's playing Golem Pump. You can fireball cycle him out at any time. You just have to. You should know that you need to keep enough elixir that you can match him. Like, defense, unless played very well, usually comes down to having enough elixir to match an opponent's cards. You eventually didn't have enough to match him because he pumped ahead of you, and he kind of played super risky on you, but you kind of let that go. What's my major? My major is what's my major? Media technology. That's right. It's totally a major. What this golem deck gets punished by 2.6 because no tower. What do you think of cannon instead of it does get punished, but like later. Like the golem deck, when you play golem against hog, the 2.6, the hog 2.6, like typically this is how the game goes. Hog 2.6 will play hog, do somewhat amount of damage, get pushed on, get pumped, and then the hog is behind, is forced to fireball a pump, and then the golem has like an opportunity to win the game right there. If the hog, and then it's like kind of up to the golem player to make a mistake, but it doesn't lose straight up. It doesn't lose straight up to the hog. I think the ice golem is kind of important, but if you're feeling like really pressured, I don't. Tombstone would be good. Took that deck from tag and just played without any real knowledge on how to play giant pump. That's fine. That's fine. I think now you know. Will you go to the next big supercell tournament if I can? My opinion is if you know how to counter hog so he doesn't get value, you don't need any buildings, such a well placed E-bar. Yeah, most of the time. I'm back. Can you host a bracket tourney? I feel for it. Not right now. When you leave this clan, search us up. I don't have you on Facebook. Should you read this already? Search us up on. It's hard to find you. What's happening? Oh wait, oops. I want to take a look at this. Look at this matchup before we do this. What's the meta? What's the hotspot? What's up, Master Legend? No, we're doing replay analysis right now. So, Tsunechi is Crunk Beast. From the clan Feel the Wrath. I like how they spell Wrath. Against Neves from Canada's Elites. He's playing the 2.6 hog deck. And Neves is playing Giant. This is like a last. This is a really old deck. But he's playing Goblin, Minions, like no Mega Minion, Mini P.E.K.K.A. It's like this dude is from like a few months back before he figured out. This guy has never heard of Mega Minions. This guy has never heard of Ice Golems. This guy has never heard of Lightning. This guy's never heard of Furnace. Like none of that. You coach Potato. We are the only team. Okay, trademark. How do I get my name? There's a command for that. You can put it in. Esoteric and Apta. So let's go into it. If you lost to this RG deck, we want to see where you're placing your cannons, how you're attacking, and how overall are you defending against these units. In this beginning, you can play. I mean, right here, Crunk Beast. There's a lot that you can do. You can play skeletons right here, and then like cycle to find your ice golem, or you can just drop like you can pick push hog rider skeleton. You can drop skeletons anywhere and just start finding your stuff. You can even just drop a lonely hog, like a naked hog. It doesn't really matter. Don't think too much on the opening. So you play hog, okay. Fireball, he messes up his fireball. He pushes your cards even closer. As soon as like those goblins were played, you could have zapped it. But that's fine. Like I wouldn't even worry about that. He played it on top, so I could see the little bit of reaction, little bit of like delay there. The best way to diffuse the situation, I would not zap this. If you look in your hands right now, like don't zap this right here. Play Ice Spirit. If you play Ice Spirit, as soon as they start walking in, you clear all of this without taking any damage. That's like the most efficient play. You can zap it, but a little bit late on the Ice Spirit. As soon as this is walking in, right here, you're floating elixir. You can play Musketeer, play Cannon. Musketeer, Cannon. Or this way is a little bit weirder, but you can play Musketeer, Cannon. Doesn't really matter. As long as you split them up. Because you don't want him to have an opening for Fireball, an opening for Lightning for no reason. I meant that big chair you sit on. So let's see what you do here. Cannon, Musketeer. Perfect. Distraction, perfect. Crunk Beast. Good. You need your skeleton. Good. Exactly how you should be playing. I would not, right in this scenario, I would not play Hog Rider into this lane. You've already put down 600 damage onto this lane, and now you have 4 elixir right here. You can support it with Ice Spirit. That's totally fine. But understand that your next card is Cannon. If you see that your next card is Cannon after playing this, then your hand is going to be Zap, Fireball, Hog, Cannon. So it forces you to play a naked Hog right here. If you're okay with that, totally fine. He plays Ice Wizard, you drop, hover, Zap. As soon as you play down Hog Rider, you need to be hovering Zap. I need to see this card tapped. Like, this card has to be tapped. Right here, I should be seeing you Zap, like, immediately. Immediately. It's still not zapped, still not zapped. You missed about, like, a second and a half. And this damage, I mean, he didn't get damage, but it's small. It's small, I know, but you still zapped in the end, so it's not that bad. How does this replay work? Do I send? I'm only taking 2 people and Marcus, and then I'm gonna be done. This is all being recorded. Pretty sure Mega Minions didn't get hit. It didn't, but you want to be quick about it. If that was also like a minion horde, it could still get hits on you. I think it was good that I think it was like kind of bad that he played minions like this, kind of weirdly. He played minions here. If he played minions here, maybe it would have been a little bit better. Ice Golem. Good. You know what he has right now. You have a ton of damage on his tower. When you hit 10, you don't have to play Musketeer. Like, there's always a chance that he just plays RG at the bridge. But if he plays RG back here, then you can just start cycling your cards and hitting this tower. Do you think about what your cycle is after you play another card during a match? Absolutely, absolutely. The thing you pointed out about having a naked hog because of cycle, would you think about? Yes, you need to keep track of your own cards. Like, my eyes, say like this is me, right? I'm playing from Crunk Beast's view. My eyes would be here like this, but I would be looking up at my own cards every few seconds. I'd be looking at my cards and I'd be looking especially what this card is, what my next card is. Keeping track of my cycle. It's good that you're waiting. Skeletons, perfect. Cycle and hit the lane with the Hog Rider. A little bit late on, you know, just when you play, you know, if you can't do this, if you can't do the hog push, if you can't do the Ice Spirit plus hog, it's okay to just play Ice Spirit back here and then play hog. Ice Spirit then hog. But what happened here was that you played Ice Spirit, then your hog went into your hand, you played hog, and now the Ice Spirit kind of dies for free. So up to here, like how are you gonna defend? The easiest way, the best way to defend, I think. You can fireball. I see you have it hovered, but I would probably wait a little bit. If you, I think this is good. So far, Crunk Beast, you have a good idea of what defense looks like. I think. Probably because like you've been watching me play this deck a lot, and you kind of know what it should look like. And then when you're put in, I think growth as a player comes from like these moments. If you were to watch your own replay, this is where growth comes from, and what you could do. Like, I think this kind of separates players right now. So you could fireball here. You could fireball and zap. If you only fireball, no, you could fireball just in general. Fireballing all of this would put the musketeer, put the P.E.K.K.A. Like, say this is the health of the P.E.K.K.A, right? We'll put the P.E.K.K.A around this, like that area. No, probably like here. We know that the Ice Wizard will live with a little bit of HP, just like within zap range. Uh, for the Royal Giant, it will barely damage it. But when you Fireball right away, you lose the opportunity of him extending, like overextending. Imagine if he did have the elixir here and he was just waiting to play minions. He doesn't see you Fireball, so as soon as this big push crosses the bridge, he plays minions. Now you have an even better Fireball, but if you Fireball right away, you lose that. So, but I also understand that your elixir bar is about to hit 10, and you don't want to. Oh my God, and you don't want to leak elixir. So what? So I think the best play right now is to set up your musketeer here. If you set up your musketeer here, it can get started on the RG. You play cannon here. I mean, if we take a look at elixir too, so we play musketeer. That's 4. Now we're sitting at 5 elixir. Let's keep that in mind. What can we do? We can still Fireball. Musketeer gets shot. We get an Ice Golem into our hand. We can play Ice Golem now. So now we have a Musketeer and an Ice Golem here. And now we're sitting at about 3 going on 4. We can still Fireball. Are you guys getting what I'm trying to say right now? You can wait a long time with this push for it to be to either see, like, if this push right here isn't pushed isn't also doesn't also have like a minion with it, this push isn't going to get through Musketeer, Ice Golem, Cannon. So you can wait. I'm picking up what you're putting down. Okay. But you lose all of that if you Fireball right away. You lose all that if you Fireball right away. So to recap, Musketeer, this walks up. When it crosses the bridge, like here, you play Ice Golem to protect your Musketeer. Then, in that split second, in that second where he has the elixir, I guarantee you he'll play minions. Because this dude is a boob, and he doesn't know how to play the game. So, when he plays minions, you Fireball everything for positive value. And then you keep distracting with Cannon, and probably your next cards are Ice Spirit or Skeletons. Right? Ice Spirit, Skeleton. And then you clean up this entire push, and then you counter push. Then Crunk Beast, you take his tower, and you win the game. Alright. I think that was good. Let's move this out. Let's go back. Let's see how we let's see what you do here. You Fireball. You play Ice Golem. This RG is on the tower. You zap everything. RG is doing damage here. With the way that you defended, you're sitting at 0 elixir. You can play Hog Rider. That's okay. He Fireballs you incorrectly again. Ice Golem. You need your cannon. I think this is just timing for you. You need your cannon as soon as he walks up this far. Cannon like now. Perfect. Musketeer. You can zap all of this. Ice Golem. Death damage plus zap takes out minions. Prevents the damage from the RG getting down. Ice Golem, Hog, perfect. Fireball at this point. This dude's a boob. He's missing a lot of it. There's no reason for you not to Fireball here. If you Fireballed here, this wouldn't exist. You would get the damage. The Musketeer would probably end the game for you. But you're holding on to this for what reason? Fireball again. Hog, Fireball. You have it selected, so I don't really see why you haven't been doing it. Zap. One hit. Oh, I think you just get Fireball zapped here. That's unfortunate. That 1 HP is unfortunate, but we can still find good content in this game though. So Crunk Beast, if I were to give you stuff to like kind of work on here, I would tell you to learn how to push with Ice Golem. Like when you push with Ice Golem here, this is how you want to push your Ice Golem, Crunk Beast. You want to play Ice Golem all the way at the edge, and then play Hog Rider maybe a second after it. What this does is it pushes the Ice Golem consistently. Secondly, let's say Hog Rider was my next card, right? And I can't just do like Ice Spirit Hog Rider. It's okay to play Ice Spirit like this and then play Hog Rider. I see a lot of times where you'll throw a free Ice Spirit or a free skeleton away trying to set up the push. But you don't want to do that. I love how you say learn to push Ice Golem when 90% of your Ice Golems are defensive. Yeah, when I do push, I push with it. Okay, so Marcus, you have your replay. This is gonna be the longest. This is gonna be the longest YouTube video ever. Oh my god, I'm not even sure I'm gonna upload this. You open the clan so I can share one more replay. No, I can't keep going on. I know you guys want your replays reviewed, but I can't. Marcus, where's your replay? Put it in chat. It has to be a loss. That's easy when you play on Nox, but when you play on phone, I have to be careful. I got fat fingers. True. I mean, I can't really help that though, right? There are people that play on phones with fat fingers, and they can still do it. This is the kind of content that sets you apart from other streamers. Oh, thank you. Thank you. What's your YouTube channel? It's, I mean, you could do !YouTube and it'll come up. I'm hoping you guys can learn from this. You're gonna see who I played, trust me. I don't care about that. I don't care, Hawk Cooper. You could play against Donald Trump, who actually, I mean, there's an account called Donald Trump, and I still wouldn't really care. I just want to make sure that this thing isn't that long. All right, Marcus, I think. Come on, he's not here. He's not here. All right. All right. I'll open up the clan. I don't know. I'll accept one more person. I'll accept one more person for their replay. Whoever comes in first, I'll accept them, and I'll take their loss. You played Marcel P? Nice. Alright. I believe that you played Marcel P. Marcel P plays a ton. Review one of my wins? I'm good. I don't want to watch your wins. I just want to laugh at you, Lenny. I'm gonna upload this to YouTube. I will. I forgot it was a friendly. Oh, Marcus. Why you do this to me? Alright. Alright, Hot Cooper. Give me your loss. Why you do this? Why you do me so dirty? Why you do me so dirty, Marcus? Alright, I gotta close it now, actually. Unfortunately. I said one person. Show me a meta deck real quick, please and thank you. Right here is a meta deck. This is meta as hell. If you like Hog Rider. Sushi. Sun. Hawk Cooper, give me a replay. Go. I can't wait too much longer. Because I don't know how to edit, so I can't cut this kind of stuff out. People are just, like, they're legit just gonna have to fast forward through the video because I suck at editing. Okay. I'm not gonna watch it. I told you, give me a loss. It's the whole point. People do this when I go to coaching too. I put on my coaching profile like, give me losses. I only take losses. And then they'll give me a win where they barely win by like 2 HP. I'm like, oh, god damn it, you guys are missing the point. Oh, thank you, Mr. MF Mojo. You mean you don't know how to edit? I don't know how to edit. I just don't know how to edit. I'm not watching it. Alright, alright. Nebula, I'm accepting you now. Ha Cooper, get wrecked. Alright, Nebula. Give me a loss replay. If you're here, if you're not, I'm just gonna quit this right now and end the recording. And I'll figure out how to trim a video. Alright. Nebula is here. Thank you, Nebula. I only got love for you, Hot Cooper. Sorry, dude. Who's cooking things in the background? Oh, sorry, it's me. Playing with coins. MS Paint, so Windows Movie Makers for editing. Yeah. Yeah, that would actually work. It would actually be so good. I'm not old school. I just find Paint really fun. What's wrong with Paint? All right, good. We have a replay. Nebula is playing the 2.8 Hog Elixir, but I'm assuming it's 2.9 because he added a Musketeer. This used to be Archers, but now Musketeer is better in this meta. And he's playing against RG Lightning, which actually, like, this is a pretty even matchup. I would say it's a little bit in favor of the RG, especially with Furnace and everything up. He doesn't have Fireball though. He has Log, Fire Spirits. This is the exact copy of the deck that won Surgical Goblin in the ESWC. Alright, so let's watch it. He uses the built-in YouTube editor. YouTube has a built-in editor? Really? Can I clip videos with it? He's floating elixir. This is good for you. Good tombstone placement. That's exactly where you would want it. You don't want to take this damage. This is very simple to stop right here, Nebula. You just drop Ice Spirit. You can drop Ice Spirit or you can drop Ice Golem, but preferably here you'd want to drop Ice Spirit. You just have to be quick about it. So that was like the less like not exactly efficient play, but it's still okay. You fireball it right away. That's still fine. The thing that's interesting is that you're fireballing here into this lane when you have a tombstone here, but that's not that big of a that's not too important either. Let's see. So when this RG is played right here, you can count on this maybe taking 2 hits, maybe 2 hits, probably 1 hit. This RG will take this in 1 or 2 hits. You need this tombstone. You need to get to this tombstone as fast as possible. I try to tell people, like, know your next card. Understand, like, your own card cycle. So he plays RG. This distracts for a second, allowing you to, like, you can buy a little bit of time to play Musketeer here. Let's do this. So in this position, you can take Musketeer, which costs 4, right? You're going on 7. You're 6 going on 7. So you would play Musketeer right here. Your Tombstone will be coming up next. So the Musketeer will be shooting this RG plus the skeletons that come over here. You can afford like a Ice Spirit or whatever to help you. But the biggest point is that you get to your Tombstone. When you have Tombstone, I don't know if you know this, but well,
yeah, you're going hard with paint.
Yo, I'm going hard with paint, yeah. When you play Musketeer here and you have Tombstone, you can play Tombstone right here, and it'll push the RG away. It'll push the RG away so that the RG takes 2 hits to kill out the new Tombstone. The skeletons pop out, and then the skeletons with the Musketeer help you. So that's probably the best way to deal with what's happening right now. But let's see, see what does happen right now. Drop this. You probably zap here. Tombstone's still in your hand. You deal with this push. That's okay. Don't take damage from this right here. Don't. Now you should know that you're behind. When you have to overcommit, when you have to play something all the way toward the end of a trade, you should understand that having to play this Ice Golem right here puts you at a negative elixir. So I would not play something like a Hog Rider here. If you play Hog Rider right now, and you took a look at this replay, at most, the expected value of your Hog is probably 2-3 hits, and then you lose your tower. Are those viewers replays? Yes, they're viewer replays. This is the last one. Just beat Ash from Altar of Elites. Nice. Hog. Zap. The thing about Furnace and Tombstone is that if you play Tombstone right here, while if Fire Spirits are like right here or here, it's almost too late. One Fire Spirit is gonna hit the Tombstone. So if you had played Tombstone as a defense, like the thing about Tombstone as a defense against Furnace is that your Tombstone has to be already played. It has to be like a Tombstone played when there are no like Fire Spirits on the map. So the best case scenario for you right here is to have played this Musketeer here, defend against this wave, and then you have to realize that you're in a cycle where you can't use Musketeer to defend against RG. You don't want to take hits from Fire Spirits. The Fire Spirit hits add up really quickly. Now that you Fireballed plus Tombstone, that's 7. It's kind of really iffy for you. Now you have to deal with a giant. When you see RGs played all the way at the back, what this means is that RGs want to bank elixir so that they can use a spell. In the past, that spell was lightning, which is kind of weird because like he's kind of playing like this guy's kind of playing in the past. RG lightning is not very used right now. RG right now isn't very used, but when you see people do this, just understand that you're gonna be dealing with RG plus spell plus units. And you have to keep that in mind when you factor in your defense. There's the lightning. He logs late. You are able to deal with the push. He's putting cards down. Know that this is going to die. Good Musketeer. I would not play Hog Rider. You don't have enough to play Hog Rider. You should know in this position that you don't have enough. So now you're pushing into him. Good Ice Golem. You get through. It's kind of weird that he would play Scar Me into you. But he was probably, what's that? Freaking out. You have to all in him at right now, which is rough. That's the position that you're in. One hit. Zap. Just a bit late on the zap, but I don't expect you to have like perfect. All he needs to do now is just, I don't know why he played RG. He could just lightning you and the game would be over. He could lightning you at any moment right now. Stealthy 23. So I was watching some of Marcel's games and he was using Tesla instead of Cannon, which is better. I think right now Cannon is, but Tesla seems, I don't know. Tesla, you can use Tesla. I just don't know its validity right now. You can be a baller, let your tower kill a spear before dropping your Ice Golem on the remaining Fire Spirit. Yeah, you can do that too. That's like what people do when they play Ice Spirit. Hey, when you start getting 1,000 plus viewers, don't forget about me. Remember who you are, Simba. 1,000 plus viewers is gonna take a while. What?
I've used hand sanitizer on my hands and soap was scratched on my hands and my hands hurt.
Okay. Wait. I'm gonna. So wait, this is a YouTube bit. So like this right here is totally fine. Like you can win this matchup here. Hold your tombstones. Figure like play against furnaces with your musketeers. Hold your tombstones for RGs. Push with ice golem hog riders. Fireball when needed on archers, mega minions, furnaces. There was a lot of moments where I just don't think that you really know where you're at in the game. Sometimes you overextended too much with like your elixir. You would fireball, then you would tombstone. Just like all you really did right there was deal with one furnace. Then you have to deal with like RG lightning plus all this other crap. So like I think for you, understanding that taking cards one step at a time is how you do it. One step at a time. You don't throw like 3 responses to one card because it's too much. You're putting too much of your elixir. You're putting too many of your answers into one bag. Alright, I think that's going to be the end of the video here. I did a review of 3 replays from TV Royale. 1 of Hog 3 Musketeers, 2.6 Hog versus Golem, and a Hog Rider versus Spellbait deck. 3 games of viewers for Lenny, which was Giant versus Golem pump. Here's Hog versus RG and also Hog versus RG here. Alright, let's end this.